Shalom, shalom. In today's video, I'd like to continue where I left off in the mystery of the Holy of Holies. And in the mystery of the Holy of Holies, we learned about the placements of Aleph, Mem, and Shin, and we learned that Aleph separates Mem from Shin. These three are called mother letters. Why? Because through their blendings, they create the essence of all of the other sounds, and they corresponded to s, which are the lips, the throat, and the tongue equally. With that being said, today we'll be analyzing one of the 7 double letters, the letter Bait. The letter Bait, as a word, is spelled Beit Yod Tav, and in the Hebrew language, this word means house. With this being established, let us continue. So of the 7 double letters, we will find the letter Beit in between Aleph and Mem. Beit is between Aleph and Mem. Now what does this come to teach us? Well, as just demonstrated, Mem is referring to the lips, and the throat is a. Now if you try to make the sound letter B, ba, you cannot do so without the lips and the throat. Ba'it, bait, which in English is the letter B. What does this come to teach us? That Beit was formed from a union of Aleph and Mem. This further goes to teach us that the air houses the water houses the air. How so? We can see this evident in the clouds and the rain, which is air that houses water, and as well as the water, which houses the air, as in the case with fish, which breathe in the oxygen that is inside of the water. With this being established, we can now analyze 2 very peculiar words. As stated, the letter Beit in English is the equivalent letter B. And based off of this principle of air house water, we can now see the word breath. Because your breath is air that houses water, such as in the case of a breathalyzer, which they detect the alcohol content or the liquid housed in the air. Now, likewise, with this same principle, we can reverse it and see it in another word, like blood, which is a liquid that houses air. And we can also see it in the word like bubble, which is a liquid that houses air. So with this being established, let us continue into some other examples. We can find it in the Hebrew word for baptism, matobil, and the Beit in tobil identifies it as being in the water. We also can find it in the English word for baptize, because the letter B, of course, implies the principle of water. We can also see this in another example, like the word boat, and in this case, the Hebrew word arba is the word boat. It's spelled Aleph Resh Beit Hey, and again, it has a bait. Why? To signify its association with water. Now we can see this in many other examples, like your body, which begins with the letter B. Why? Because it's mainly composite of water. You can see it like in the word blink. Why? Because you blink to apply water. You can see it in the word bathe, in bath. Why? Because you bathe in bath inside of water. You can see it in the word baby. Why? Because it's a house of water, which is in the womb, which ends with a B, because it is a house of water. Many other examples can you see the letter Beit and its associations with water. But let us see a few other examples. So I asked the angel why Beit was in this particular position between Aleph and Mem, and it responded to me, Adam. Now, Aleph, as we know, is air, and Dam in Hebrew is blood. The only place in the body where the air mixes with the blood is in the heart, and this is represented by the Hebrew word lamed beit, like this. As demonstrated here, Adam, and the air mixes with the blood in the heart, which is the Hebrew word lav, lamed beit. Now, applying Beit with this newfound principle, we can find that not only does the breath is air that houses water, but it also identifies that the breath is carried to the heart. And moreover, we can find that blood is a liquid that houses air, and based to its association to the heart, we can find that the blood also travels there to the heart. As you can see here, there are three primary colors that are being demonstrated: yellow, blue, and red. And we also find that Beit has an association with Mem, and Mem here is depicted in blue. And this comes to teach us and signify to us another strange mystery. And this mystery goes into color and why certain colors are named the way that they are. An example of this is why we call the water blue. And in its depths, the water appears to be black. But this also goes to the allusion to why we look to the sky and call it blue. And at night, it is black, like this. As seen here, we can see that the sky is blue, and at night it's black. And the same thing with the water, it is blue, and in its depths it's black. And many other different variations can we discover mysteries like this. Now, with this being established, let us continue. There are other gematria equations and other Sephirithic associations that can be applied to this letter, but we'll save those for a later video. For now, we have a base understanding with the continuation of what was described and taught in the Holy of Holies. And also pay attention to the leavening of bread, as the leavening of bread comes from air pockets that are developed inside of the bread. And this in itself has the same principle as Beit. So all of this being established, Shalom Selah.